May 8th, 2024 is the time I recorded this next audio that I'll be sharing with you today. And I titled it My Roots. When I was about to listen to it, I questioned why I titled it My Roots. But then when I listened to it, I was like, oh, okay. By then, I was actually figuring out why the podcast should exist and how it relates to me specifically and personally, and how I believe, my own perspective about life, about being human, and how I can relate to life in a way that I just have to, learn how to be someone that is not always in a chaotic state with everything that life just throws at her. And I believe that this present day and age, because of the lack of understanding we have about how we can operate, when it comes to the things that we are faced with in life, because we lack the understanding of how to operate, how to react, how to deal with things, how to overcome, it makes us consider that life is very challenging, and at times that can lead to suicidal thoughts, that can lead to hopelessness, that can also lead to depression, that can lead to you sabotaging yourself when it comes to being who you are rather than being somebody else. I've been there, and these thoughts are very, very, very toxic. So I think mostly this is the reason why I got to this point of really understanding what it means to be human, because it's like we want to not have to deal with everything that life throws at us, and it doesn't really work that way. And I have been that one person that has been so determined to not take life too personally, from an angle of me trying to view it as in like everything should just be perfect, and when it's not, it's like I feel all sorts of ways. But that's the magic of like why the podcast is around, because I am dedicated in learning how I can be a human being that can understand what life requires of me when it's life in. And in this audio, I shared my own perspective that I had by then about what I wanted my podcast to, sound like to you guys, and how personally I felt about it. So I love that my point of view sounded like this by that time, because it made me, when I listened to it, I was like, oh really, this title is indeed rooted, and I guess that's why I titled it My Roots. So feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm your host Lee, and this is the Everything Not Perfect podcast. Enjoy. Hello, beautiful and handsome souls. Welcome to the Everything Not Perfect podcast, or welcome back if this is your first time. This is a safe space where you and I can break free and uplift others, as we are going to be engaging in the tough but healthy conversations where we're going to be learning and unlearning everything not perfect that makes us humans. I am very excited again for today's conversation, guys. We are going to be talking about what is going on presently in my life as a person. So basically, I have been trying to be at a position where I've been trying to reach at a position where I can accept the wholeness that comes with being human. Right? And there is so much that I've been learning about life, about myself, about emotions, about situations, circumstances, that causes us to not have the life we want and get things mixed up when life itself is just being life. And most times the way we act towards life as humans is one thing, of course, that helps us again to not take life so hard, as in feel like life is something that's just so difficult, because we are humanly, we're trying to understand the human nature which is already buried inside of us, and at times we struggle to get our emotions right. We struggle to get the idea of like what life is trying to teach us from any situation or circumstance that we are going through at that moment. And honestly, what I'm learning to understand now is this: I can be an enemy against myself in so many ways. The way how I deal with my emotions, the way I deal with situations that happen to me, the way I deal with my circumstance. I can tell if I'm an enemy to myself if I get to be toxic. Even with myself, I am toxic with myself. So far so good. I am loving how I am learning the art of being human and embracing what it means to really be human. And that, I feel, is what my podcast is about. It's about being human, being whom you are really created to be. And this can be messy. This can be uncomfortable. This can be not what you are used to. This can be you letting your guards down and getting to a point where you are betrayed, and then having to deal with trust issue, and then getting to a point where you also have to go through the trusting someone again, and that might become something hard for you to do. But hey, we are going to be getting into all of it, because honestly, these are things, for some reason we think that things are supposed to be all rosy. Hard times are not meant to exist, and our human nature is supposed to just be a one-way street, and that's not what it's ever about. But we have so normalized not being human, and my podcast is about embracing everything that is not perfect, that really makes you human. So if you are one like me that is ready to love, learn, unlearn,